Ashley Mitchell leads a charmed life until she learns that her cookie-baking mom is suspected of embezzling a fortune from her employer. No mom, no money, no other family to help. All of a sudden, this pampered suburban princess has to fend for herself. Chapter 4. I opened the front door and grimaced at the sight of the two uniformed men standing there. You again. Have you found her? Strobel gave a negative headshake, but I knew the answer from the expression on his partner's face. Officer Donahoe looked as if he had poured sour milk on his breakfast cereal. Why don't you just tell us where she is, Donahoe snarled. You don't seem to realize you're in a bad spot. If you're not careful, you could be charged as an accessory. His voice sliced through the air with the whine of a weed whacker. Donahoe's obnoxious tone equaled his offensive manner. This was the fourth time the cops had stopped by the house. Apparently, Officer Donahoe never tired of trying to browbeat me into telling my mother's whereabouts. I confess, copper. Go ahead, put the cuffs on me and throw me in the slammer. The loot is stashed in the cookie jar and my mother's at the Four Seasons. This isn't a joke, little lady. You better start taking this seriously or you'll find yourself in jail. Donahoe glared at me and I glared right back. Oh yeah, some joke. My mother's missing. She's probably been kidnapped. But the cops won't lift a finger to find out what happened to her, and you keep hassling me. That's my idea of a really big joke. Donahoe snorted, waved what he called a warrant in my face, and pushed past me into the house. Strobel raised his eyebrows and followed his partner inside. The pair of them had arrived to search for evidence, or maybe to find out if some of the missing cash was stashed in my mother's underwear drawer under her bikini panties. Instead of following them inside, I slumped in the porch chair. From the telephone pole across the street, I could hear a woodpecker rat-tatting away. I felt like going over with a hammer and lending a hand. Yesterday, I had even swallowed my pride and asked Gloria, my mother's closest friend, if she would lend me the money for the class trip to Hawaii. Just until my mother came back, she exploded into the telephone. You can't be serious. Your mother is missing and you want to run off to Hawaii and get a suntan? Why does this not surprise me? Just when I think you couldn't possibly be as narcissistic as I imagine, you demonstrate you really are that shallow. I hung up on her. What was her problem? She had no idea the hell I was going through. What did Gloria expect me to do? There was nothing to do except wait, and wait was the hardest thing I had ever done. Last night, a reporter from the San Francisco Chronicle had called asking for Diane Mitchell, and then tried to question me when I said she wasn't there. I slammed the receiver down without answering. The next day, page 6 had a story headlined, Burlingame Woman Sought in Fraud Investigation. And the last two sentences read, Ashley Mitchell, 18, the suspect's daughter, has been questioned, but no charges have been filed. Mitchell had no comment when reached at their Burlingame home. Those two sentences were wreaking havoc in my life. At school, there were two equally distasteful reactions. Some people were oh so kind and treated me as if they were oh so sorry for me, while others just whispered and turned away as if I had a communicable disease. Graduation day was a complete fiasco. The only reason I showed up for the ceremony was to prevent my classmates and their respectable, law-abiding parents from whispering that I was too ashamed to appear. The hardest part was enduring the chilly reception as I walked to the podium. Unlike Scott and my former friends from the popular crowd, my march across the stage was not heralded by any enthusiastic outburst or congratulatory cheers from friends and relatives. For me, there was only silence, followed by embarrassed, tepid applause. After all the diplomas had been handed out and all the speeches given, everyone congregated on the lawn in front of the school. Each new graduate, wearing a white cap and gown and a bright smile, posed for pictures surrounded by a joyous crowd of relatives and friends. Only I was alone. No one came over to hug me and say, I'm so proud of you. I wanted my mother so badly I ached. Where was she? How could she do this to me? Thank you.